All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakah Kwadash, which is the true name of the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, are two great kings, the gods that the King James Bible speaks of, which again, the true name of the Heavenly Father is Yahweh, and His only begotten Son, who the world of ignorance calls Christ. True name is Yahweh Shai. Second of all, I want to give double honors to my elders and apostles of Great Millstone, Elder Taharan on down, that rule and teach well. And third of all, I want to give a peace and safety to the hope for the elect out there, the brothers that push this truth, the truth of the King James Bible, and all truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the globe. Alright, so I just want to do a short lesson, or however long the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai allows it to go. And I want to name the video Economic Wars. Alright. And Lord Woods Brothers can see on the screen. I just did a simple Google search for the meaning of an economic war. And I'm gonna go ahead and play or let Google read it, or the AI overview read it.
Economic warfare uses sanctions, trade restrictions, and tariffs to weaken an opponent's economy. It's a non-military approach, focusing on limiting access to resources, finance, and technology, often seen as a more humane alternative to traditional conflict.
Right, so this situation between Babylon, aka America, Iran, and Israel, not only is it a physical war, it's a economic war. All right, which really America has been using that on Iran for some time now. All right, with tariffs or whatever. But now in this war between those three, all right, and Russia and China are also involved in this, because it's come out that they're giving them intel. Russia and China are giving Iran intel, and more than likely giving them weapons to deal with Babylon and Israel. All right, but this is a physical war where they're shooting missiles at each other. All right, and also it's an economic war. All right, like I said here, go to the right here. It says focusing on blocking access to resources, with the Strait of Hormuz being closed. All right, Iran is blocking resources, which that resource in this case is oil, from reaching Babylon and Europe. All right, mainly Europe, where it's getting so bad that they're saying that Europe is going to have to go crawling back to Russia. All right, to get oil again. All right, which, even though, like I said, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah before, like these financial experts have brought out, really they never stop, because they've been buying oil from India or whatever, and India gets their oil from Russia. So really they still been buying their oil or whatever. But now they're going to have to looks like they're going to have to go back to them and just straight up and down just buy their oil from them straight up, instead of using a third party or a middleman to purchase oil. All right, because again, it's still closed, and Iran is still blocking, which they said any ship that's not going to Russia or China, or I think I forget what the other country is, that's not going to those countries, they're going to attack it. All right, and on the flip side of that, all right, I forgot who I was watching. I was watching one YouTuber, and he was saying, well, why would they let why would America let them allow them to sail their ships through? They'll just blow their ships up too, or stop their ships and turn them around too, if they're not going to let the oil get to Europe and Babylon. Why would America allow them to still get their oil? All right, they'll just stop them from delivering their oil as well. So a lot of these oil companies or whatever, they're just canceling orders altogether. Like, we're not gonna put or risk putting ships out there and risking them getting blown up, because we just lose money, or risk getting them invaded. because they're just losing money. So, not only again are we in a physical war, we're in an economic war, which this economic war is going to help bring down this current economic system and ultimately usher in the new economic system, which will be a digital economic system. All right, which will require the masses to take a microchip in their hands or in their head in order to buy and sell things. All right, but I'm gonna pause it real quick because I'm gonna play this video again. This is the third time I actually played this video with Gerald Celente, and I have an article. So I'm gonna pause it real quick. Salakia. Yeah, it's Salakia Brothers. And again, I played this video 3 times. All right, but this is I'm pretty sure all brothers out there already know who this is. Gerald Celente, a financial expert or whatever, and he's made a prediction about oil. If oil reaches $100 a barrel, basically the global economies will crash. It remains to be seen. We gotta wait and see, watch and see what happens if Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai allows that. But ultimately it's up to the Lord rather than not that happens. All right. Something like that happens is ultimately up to the Lord. But Lord willing, the Lord does allow it to happen. But he's been pretty spot on with his predictions. He predicted, like I mentioned in previous videos, he predicted the spike of gold and silver. All right. So he's also predicted other things. All right. That I think he predicted America was going to lose the war to Iraq. All right. And people were saying he was crazy for that and blacklisted him, which he's mentioned a few times. All right, but he's been pretty spot on with some of his predictions, most of his predictions. So, we got to sit back, watch, wait, and see what happens. But yeah, I'm gonna play this video again. This is the 3rd time I played it, but again, he's bringing out good info here.
When all else fails, they take you to war. Very important. When all else fails, they take you to war. And there's more and more talk about the United States bringing more and more ships toward Iran. If the United States and Israel attack Iran, gold prices are going to spike because oil prices will go above $100, $120 a barrel. That'll crash the global economy.
And some are saying that this could go up to $200 a barrel, which then you'll see $7 gas, $8 gas on the East Coast, and on the West Coast, I don't even want you pick the number. It could be, if it's 7 or 8 here, it could be 20 over there, because their gas is always anytime gas goes up over here on the East Coast, all right, the West Coast, it goes through the roof, which the cost of living over there is already crazy. The cost of living everywhere is crazy, but out west is worse, especially places like California. All right. So it could be, if it's 7, 8 here, it could be like 14, 15 there. And people can't afford that, man. People are already catching hell trying to pay bills and, put gas in their car. All right.
Boom. And he'll do it on the weekend like he does.
Salakia Brothers. And before I get the article, I also wanted to show this. I shared with the brothers in the camp. I put it in our group chat, our camp chat. I don't know if brothers can see it, but I don't know if this is going on everywhere, but it was one pump that I went to, and they're at that particular gas station, they're rationing gas, because I don't know again if brothers can see it, but it says fuel limit $125, so you can only get $125 worth of gas. So that means that they're rationing gas in certain places. All right, because like I mentioned to brothers, and I said at camp yesterday through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, I spoke on it. You don't know if the oil reserves have been restocked, because we got to remember when this whole Ukraine and Russia thing went down. All right, the Biden administration put sanctions on Russia. All right, and the European countries put sanctions on Russia. They weren't buying Russian oil or anything anymore. All right, meaning they would have to get it from elsewhere to make up for that. So what Biden did, he dipped into the U.S. Reserves, all right, and released it to Europe. Matter of fact, I'm gonna pull that up real quick. Let's pull that up real quick. As you can see, here we go.
Yes, the Biden administration authorized the sale and export of oil from the U.S. Strategic Petroleum Reserve, SPR, that was subsequently shipped to countries in Europe and Asia. This occurred as part of a 2022 strategy to stabilize global energy markets and combat rising fuel prices following Russia's invasion of Ukraine.
Right, because they stopped purchasing oil.
Key details on oil to Europe. 1. Context.
All right, that's enough. Yeah, because they stopped purchasing oil from Russia. All right, they put sanctions on them because of the conflict between them and Ukraine. So he had to make up for that. They had to make up for that. So what they did, like I said here, they released a great amount of their oil reserves, and I don't think those oil reserves have been restocked. Matter of fact, I was watching I think the dude's name is Secular Talk, if I'm mistaken, with Kyle Kosasi, however you say his last name, and he mentioned that he said that he said that you know, that because he doesn't think that they refilled their oil reserves. America has refueled their oil reserves, all right, before going into this war. So the fact that they do start rationing gas makes sense. That means there's a shortage. All right, no oil means no gas. You need oil to make gas and diesel. All right, so in certain places they're rationing it. All right, that means that they're running out. So not only is it going to be stupid high, and that'll add to the cost too. If it's a limited supply of something, that'll add to the cost too. All right, so if there's a limited supply of it, all right, and you know, with this this blockade or whatever that's going on over there in the Straits of Hormuz, Slovakia, it's going to drive the price up. Both of those factors is going to drive the price up. Or both of those things are going to be a factor in driving the price up. All right. So yeah, man, things about to get a lot worse here in America, man. Pause it one more time. All right, Salakia, this is the article I was speaking about, and I don't know why I haven't signed up. It shit is high as hell, man. But this is an article you have to pay for to read. But it says Goldman, that's Goldman Sachs. All right, panics, expects oil to hit $100 next week and reach its structured levels. All right, so Goldman Sachs, all right, is expecting oil, which the way it's moving up, the way it's going up, and they're still dropping bombs on each other. As a matter of fact, Babylon and Israel just dropped bombs on one of their oil spots. All right, Iranian oil spots or whatever. All right. So, in the way it's been going up, this is a very strong chance it could be at $100 a barrel within the next 2 or 3 days. All right, and like Gerald Celente said, that could crash global markets. All right. Should be 91. It was 90. Which the markets open back up tomorrow, Monday morning. All right, so you know, things are about to get ugly here in America, man. All right, things are about to get very, very ugly here in America. And ultimately, this is going to lead to the destruction of America. And good riddance. All right. This is Revelation. Oh yes, like it is 18. Revelation chapter 18 verse 7. How much she had glorified herself. All right, and who's the her that glorified herself? America. All right, how much she had glorified herself. Babylon the Great, aka America, have glorified herself and lived deliciously. So much torment and sorrow give her, and that's what the Lord is about to bring upon this place. All right, torment and a whole lot of sorrow to the masses of people in this land. All right, you know, $7 a gallon for gas, $7, $14, $10 a gallon for gas. All right, the masses of people ain't gonna be happy about that. I was reading an article the other day saying that now people that make $200,000 a year are they qualify for help because that basically ain't no money in these times. All right, so $7 a gallon gas, hell, even 5 or 6, that ain't gonna excite people. It's gonna put people in a more mournful state. So this place is about to see much sorrow. The masses of people on this land is about to see much, much sorrow, man. All right, the hell on them is about to turn up. So much torment and sorrow give her. For she saith in her heart, I see the queen and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. Right, and the masses of people in the land of Babylon, aka America, has had that attitude for years. All right, you know, the attitude that all hell could never break loose in this place. That's why the masses of people, when Zaquani Menachem out there on the highways and the byways pushing this word, they just keep walking, even though through the spirit, starting with our elders and apostles, a great millstone, and brothers ranking on down through the spirit of Pabi Abba Shemi Shai. Zaquani Menachem out there, you know, are preaching, telling them that these dark days was coming, and they kept walking. Why? Because they don't believe that nothing like that could happen in America. They don't believe that America could go down in a war. All right, they don't believe America ever sees $7 or $8 or $10 for a gallon of gas. All right, they don't believe that you're gonna walk in the store one day and a loaf of bread will be $10, which that's gonna go up too, by the way. All right, the price of diesel goes up. It's gonna cost more to get those goods to the store, but you're gonna pass that cost off to the consumer. All right. So hell is getting ready to come to America, which that time is referred to as the time of Jacob's trouble. All right, which consists of many things, many terrible things. All right. And am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. But this place is about to see much sorrow. Verse 8, therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death, mourning, and famine. Right, and a lot of death is about to come upon this land. All right, mourning. All right, what does scripture say in Proverbs 29? When the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. So they're about to put more hell on these people, man. Again, $7, $5, $6, $7, $10 a gallon gas. All right, $8 for a loaf of bread. You know, down $10 for some eggs. $130 for a pack of chicken. All right, or $50 or $80 for a pack of chicken. You know, outrageous prices, man. And you better believe that's gonna put the people in a more mournful state. All right, a famine, and this is what economic wars do. Like I said in that definition. All right, it ruins economies, ruins countries. That's the way it does it. Inflation. All right, not only inflation, basically pricing people out of everything, which angers the people, which causes civil unrest. All right, eventually, like the scriptures tell us in 2 Esdras 9 speaks about uproars of the people. That's coming, and when people are uproaring about food, that's when shit really gets ugly, man. All right, so it says death, mourning, and famine, and she should be utterly burned with fire. For strong is the Lord Yahweh who judges her, and that's the ultimate judgment for Babylon the Great, aka America. Destruction by way of ICBM nuclear missiles. All right. So, yeah, man, it's going down, man. All right.
Economic warfare, also known as white war, uses strategies like sanctions and boycotts to weaken an opponent's economy. These tactics disrupt supply chains, freeze assets, and control resources, acting as a non-military tool for coercion.
Right, and that's what this situation is about to do to America. All right. Again, basically it's an embargo on tariffs used by nations to weaken adversaries' economy base, but that's what's going on now. That's why you're seeing gas prices go up. All right, and again, that's going to trickle down to the grocery stores. Limiting their capacity for conflict is an act of non-military offering tool to disrupt supply chains, which that's what it's going to do. Freeze financial access and control critical resources like oil. Oil is critical, man. All right, what they say, the truck drivers are the bloodline of America, or the heart of America, or whatever they say. All right, no diesel or less diesel, or the price of diesel goes up. All right, it means it's gonna, either them goods ain't gonna make it to the store, which is ultimately what's gonna happen. All right, the goods ain't gonna make it there. All right, and it's going to cost more to get it there. All right, like I said in 2 Ezra 15, it speaks about spoiling and destroying one another for the lack of bread. Let's get that. Second Ezra chapter 15. Matter of fact, let's start at 11. 10. 2 Ezra chapter 15, verse 10. Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt. And it's talking about this Egypt, spiritual Egypt. Because Babylon the Great is also known as spiritually Sodom and Egypt. All right. But I will bring them with a mighty hand and an outstretched arm and a stretched out arm and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof. That's what the Lord's ultimately going to do to this place, destroy it. Egypt shall mourn. Right. Again, more shit is about to get a lot harder here, which is going to put the people in a more mournful state, more than they're already in. And the foundation of it should be smitten with the plagues and punishment that Yahweh should bring upon it. Right, the Lord's about to punish this place, where he already is, but it's going to intensify. And they that till the ground shall mourn, for their seed shall fall through the blasting of hell with a fearful constellation. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. Woe means destruction, for the sword of the destruction draweth nigh, and one people should stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. Right, because violence is about to increase in this land like crazy. Verse 16, for there should be sedition among men and invading one another, and they should not regard their kings nor princes. And we're seeing that now. Trump's approval rating is dropping like crazy. Basically, where the people are damn near ready to bum rush the White House. People are so pissed. All right. And these senators and mayors and all of that. All right. And these other political leaders, which those are your kings and princes. And the course of their actions shall stand in power. And a man should desire to go into a city and should not be able. All right. Martial law, you know. For because of their pride, the city should be troubled, and the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Right, great fear is coming. The Lord is about to put a fear on the masses of people in this land. Verse 19, and a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil the goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. And that's what's coming, a lack of bread and great tribulation. All right, again, they call truck drivers the bloodline or the vessel or whatever of America. You know, trucks don't move, boats and trucks don't move, no goods get to the store, and both of them require diesel. So either diesel will be so high, or it'll make groceries super high, or they'll run out of diesel and nothing moves at all, nothing gets to the store. All right, either way, this prophecy is going to be fulfilled. People are going to be killing each other. All right, what do you do with the modern day sword? With a gun, you shoot people and kill people. All right, because of the lack of bread, which means a famine, shortage of food, and great tribulation. And that's what's coming, great tribulation upon this land. All right. So again, not only is this war physical, them dropping bombs on each other, it's also a economic war, which is really more critical because in these times, because we need that MOTB to come to pass before the missiles can be shot, and this is going to help that. All right, this is going to help bring down this current physical economy, and ultimately they're going to have to switch over to a digital economy, ultimately, and this is going to help drive this war that's going on. All right. So with that, I pray this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory again unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakah Kodash, double honors again to my elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and safety to you brothers that push this truth and sincerity. And with that, I'm going to say shalom.